So now there's a lot of Pokemon games, and after replaying through most of them, I got a lot of things to say about them. And what better way to do that than to rank them all? Anyways, let's get straight into that. Okay, so coming in at number 21 spot. Surely this doesn't surprise anyone, but Pokemon Sun and Moon's gotta stay there. Pokemon Sun and Moon were a little bit of a snooze fest trying to replay in 2025. There's so many better games out there, but for the time being, I see where some of these games might lie with their respected fan base. But for me, these games right here just aren't for me, and yeah. Anyways, coming in at number 20, we got Pokemon Yellow. For the time being, these games were fantastic, being able to essentially try to play through the game just like the TV series. It replaced some of the main characters with like Ash Ketchum and Misty and Brock and all of that stuff. It was pretty great, but now it removed a lot of the things that actually makes the game fun. And there's gonna be more on that later. Coming in at number 19, we got Pokemon Gold and Silver. Now Pokemon Gold and Silver, don't get me wrong, are pretty fantastic games, but playing them in 2025, there's other ways to have a fun time with the region. And honestly, for the time being, these games were pretty great. It really improved upon the Pokemon series as a whole. Being able to have 16 gym badges is pretty great. But now, coming in at number 18, we got Pokemon Red and Blue. I told you we'd be back in Kanto. Now, the reason why these games are here is because these games are exceptionally fun in 2025. Not only do you get the missing no glitch, but you also get the other glitch, which is the 8F glitch, the one that you're able to get a shiny Mew. And for me personally, I feel like this is more like a legit Mew. You didn't do anything to get it a mischievous way. You got it from your 3DS game, which is pretty great. Okay, coming in at number 17, we got Pokemon Crystal. Now, Pokemon Crystal is a pretty great game, but replaying this in 2025, there's other games that I feel like are just better. And overall, this game was really great for the time. If I was ranking this like a couple years ago, this would probably be a number 10 slot. But for now, it has to stay in number 17 spot. Okay, now coming in at number 16, we got Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now hear me out. These games as a whole, the first probably 20 hours of the game is kind of boring. But once you get to pretty much the end of the game, it becomes really fun. You get a really great way to shiny hunt Pokemon. And not only is it not that hard, but it's also not that easy. So it gives you a perfect balance in between a shiny Pokemon and resetting the game a couple hundred times. So overall, that's where that has to lie. Okay, coming in at number 15, we got Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. These games right here are pretty great. I think that they're really fun and they experience what Kanto is. And if you wanted to replay the game as an original Kanto with nothing added, nothing changed, this is the game for you. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green really improved upon the Kanto experience and pretty much gave it a new life. It's pretty much a brand new game, even though you're playing the basic same game that you played all those years back. Overall, that's pretty great. Okay, coming in at number 14th, we got Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Now these games right here are pretty great. Not only is the Hoenn region pretty good, but overall, the games really improved upon the past generations. After replaying through this game, I thought that the game really needed some work. But luckily, there's another game coming up soon that really improves on that a lot. All my complaints are all fixed, and I think that the Hoenn region as a whole is a really great region. Okay. Now coming in at number 13, we got Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Now Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are some pretty okay games. You know, the Sinnoh region is probably where many of you found your first Pokemon game, and it's a pretty good region. But after replaying through them, I can see that there's a lot of flaws with these games. But that doesn't mean that these games are necessarily bad. For me personally, I think that these games are really great. But after playing through them, I think that there's some better option. And that better option, for me personally, I think it's gotta go to number 12. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are some of the most controversial Pokemon games, but replaying through them, it's actually pretty great. Now, is it better than other games on the list? Well, I mean, no, that's why it's a number 12. But for the Nintendo Switch being the Nintendo Switch, it's pretty great. You can go anywhere you want with it. I mean, you can replay Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on your brand new Nintendo Switch or your 8-year-old Nintendo Switch instead of your 20-year-old DS. I mean, well, it's easier to play if you know what I mean. Okay. Now, after that weird explanation, we gotta go to number 11th, which has gotta go to Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, me personally, I actually did really enjoy these games, but there's some better options to play Pokemon. But for me personally, the story in the game was pretty fun, and replaying it again was pretty great. But there was one major flaw. The beginning, pretty much all the way to the middle of the game, is just a spam fest. But that really changes if you got the DLC. The best part about Sword and Shield, in my opinion, in 2025, it's gotta go to Dynamax Adventures. Now that right there is such a fun mode because it's just kind of like a roguelike Pokemon game, which is really great, by the way. I really did enjoy just going through the Dynamax Adventures and having fun with it. But the base game itself, sadly, in 2025, is just kind of sad. Okay, and kind of sad next up, it's gotta go to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I really did enjoy these games when it came out, but now in 2025, I mean, now that we got the Switch 2 version, it does improve on some of those features, but I don't think it improves it enough that going back to it feels like a new game once again. You know what I mean? These games were fantastic when it released. It really took some of the elements of Legends Arceus and some of the elements of an open world game. But for me personally, it doesn't really feel like an open world game because you have to go to school for 2 hours, you have to do all of this stuff. And then once you finally get into the semi-open world, you have to pretty much upgrade your mount. You have to upgrade all of this stuff, and it didn't really feel like the perfect game. Anyways, coming in at number 9, we got Pokemon X and Y. Now these games were actually pretty great. I really did enjoy my time replaying them. It was just a mix of, having fun and a little bit of struggle. But overall, these games are great. The Mega Evolution is there, and getting stuck in Lumio City, wowzers, that's a little rough. But overall, it's a pretty fun game that I think that, they deserve a lot of love. I know that there's a lot of fans out there that love Pokemon X and Y, and for me, it's gotta stay at number 9. Okay, so next up, we got number 8, Pokemon Black and White. Now, Pokemon Black and White are some pretty great games, but there's honestly some bigger and greater games in my opinion out there. Now, Pokemon Black and White, that doesn't mean that they're bad games. In fact, they're pretty high up on the list. And I think that Black and White really improved upon what Generation 4 gave you. It gave you a lot to do, and that's perfect for a game like this. Because, you get all of the different seasons, and replaying through it was pretty fun. There was a lot of Pokemon, there was a lot of things to do, and overall, it was really fun. I really did enjoy my time with Black and White. Now next up in number 7, we got Pokemon Emerald. Now Pokemon Emerald really improves upon the Hoenn region, and that is pretty great. And the reason why I've got to put it in number 7 is because there's another game out there that I think is, greater in a way for this game, but that doesn't excuse itself. Playing on the original Game Boy Advance kind of art style really makes a difference. Maybe you're more like a fan of the DS or even the Game Boy Advance style of art style. Hey, maybe this would be higher up. I don't know, for me personally, I think that this game was great, but there's another game that I think really takes the cake. It does improve on some of the features, some of the dialogues, and some of the other things that we'll have to talk about later. Okay, now, in number 6, we got Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, Pokemon Legends Arceus was a pretty great game. It really improved on some of the Pokemon features, and overall, it really was a fun game. Now for me personally, replaying it was a little rough because some of the story elements was just to click one button and keep clicking and keep clicking. That right there kind of throws me off a little bit. But overall, Pokemon Legends Arceus was a really fun game. Do I wish it was more open world? Yeah, I do. Do I wish the art style looked a little bit better? Yes, I do. But overall, it's not the worst game. It's a pretty good game. In fact, that's why it's in number 6. Okay. Now I told you we would be back to the Hoenn region. Number 5, we got Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. These games right here are pretty great. They're really fun, and capturing from being able to fly in a Latios or Latios, pretty great. Mega evolutions in this game, and pretty much all the things that Emerald gave you are inside this game. It's on the 3DS, and it's pretty great. It's got so much things, and even the battle animations in this game are so superb. They're so beautiful. I really love this game. Okay, coming in at number 4. Yeah. We're back into Sinnoh for Pokemon Platinum. Pokemon Platinum is a really great game. I really did enjoy Pokemon Platinum, and I think that it really improved upon what Sinnoh gave you. And going into the Distortion Realm, that right there is such a cool feature about the game. You go in the Distortion Realm, and you have a very great time in there. You figure out things, and things that you probably would have never seen elsewhere. Overall, I think that this game, after replaying it in 2025, is it's pretty fun. Like it's a really great Pokemon game, and I honestly wish that Pokemon would just bring this game back to Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe leave it as it once was and add some stick controls or even mouse controls so you can control the bottom screen instead of trying to get the game for $200 plus. Okay, coming in at number 3, we got Pokemon White 2, Black and White 2, which are pretty great. Pokemon Black and White 2 are actually some fantastic games, and now I see why so many Pokemon fans love these games. It really improves upon the autumn season, the winter season, and overall, it's really great. And if you had the Dream Radar game, this game right here is cool because now you can start the game off with a level 5 legendary Pokemon, which is so cool, by the way, because who doesn't want to start their playthrough off with a level 5 Lugia, maybe Oh-Oh, or whatever the case may be. I thought overall the game, the Elite Four, it was a nice balance in between easy and challenge. So overall, that right there is why I've got to put it in number 3 slot. But now, this might be where some controversy spikes. For me personally, I always love these games, but I see where it might take a turn. In the number 2 slot, we gotta put Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. For some reason, I love these games so much. It just brings the joy to my eye. Maybe it's because of the art style looks so beautiful, or is it because the catch mechanic makes you feel like you're actually throwing a Pokeball? But overall, I think that the games themselves are really fun. It takes what's really amazing about Kanto and allows you to feel like you're living inside the world, especially if you have that Nintendo Switch controller that is a Pokeball. That right there is the greatest thing because, who doesn't want to actually throw a Pokeball and have fun? It's kind of what Legends Arceus similar gave you, but now you actually have the accessory to just throw the Pokeball. And it really works well with only having like 3 buttons to play through the game. I love this game so much. And now, for our honorable mention, we gotta always put an honorable mention. Pokemon Legends ZA. This has not been out, but if I were to rank it, I feel like I would put it maybe in between Pokemon Black and White and X and Y. Similar to that. We haven't played it yet, but for me personally, the game looks a little bit of a downgrade from Legends Arceus. Because, instead of being more open to the open world, you're stuck in a city. Which is a pretty interesting way to put a spin on a Pokemon game, I guess. But I haven't played the game, no one has played the game. So until then, maybe the ranking will have to change. So if we were to put it, I would put it in between 8 and 9. Or even 9 and 10. It kind of depends in between that ballpark. And now, for the number 1 spot, my favorite Pokemon game of all time. It's gotta be Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These games are so fantastic, not only being able to make your Pokemon follow you, also, I love the Kanto region, I love the Johto region, I love the fact that there's the greatest post game of any Pokemon game. It's so great. Going to Kanto, going to Johto, doing all of this stuff, battling Red, having a great time. This is what Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver actually does for you. And it's amazing. These games are truly special. I love these games so much. And honestly, I've actually made a complete 20-minute video just talking about Heart Gold and Soul Silver. You can check that out if you want to. It's completely up to you. I love these games so much. I did a complete rant about them. Oh man, these games are truly special. And overall, that's why even replaying them in 2025, there was literally nothing wrong. Nothing that I would say is bad. The only thing maybe would be that it's a little bit slow, but no, that's just, or the level curve, that's just a thing. Anyways, I love Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I love Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and also Black and White 2 are pretty great as well. Those would be the top 3 Pokemon game. And what do you think? Do you think my list is completely bogus? This is not how you would rank them? Or do you think this is something that you might? Just let me know what you think about the list. Do you think you would change it up? And change it up in the comments section down below. I would really love to know what your favorite Pokemon games actually are. Because Pokemon is a great series with so many different games, so many different players of the game. Maybe you're a big fan of how the 3DS era shaped up the game. Maybe you like the Switch era. Maybe you like the DS era of Pokemon games. There's so many different ways to play Pokemon, and honestly, this is why this series is fantastic. So make a list down in the comments down below and let me know if I missed any Pokemon games. So overall, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and please rank your own Pokemon game. I would love to see what type of Pokemon games you place at the top or you place at the bottom. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope that you enjoy. I hope you have a fantastic day. Consider to subscribe. Consider to hit the like button. And with that being said, see you in the next one.